Good morning. We are going to start today's program, even though we have to wait for a few more schools to arrive. However, in view of the fact that our program is rather tightly scheduled, so I think without any further delay, let me start. So first of all, friends, colleagues, students, and participants, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you all on behalf of the organizing team of the National Science Day 2016. As you are all aware that ISES plays a pivotal role in this National Science Day celebration because it is in this great institute that Sir C.V. Raman worked from 1907 to 1933 and made a seminal discovery of what is known as Raman effect today. It was discovered, in fact, on 28th of February as per record, 1928, and that is why 28th February has been earmarked as the National Science Day by our Indian government. So, we are very glad to see the conglomeration of students from various parts of Kolkata and surrounding areas who have gathered to experience and enjoy this program. Now let me brief you about this program that you are going to experience today. In fact, yesterday was the first day of the program, that was 28th, and it is a two-day program. This year we are celebrating in a very special fashion. And the inaugural lecture yesterday was delivered by TIFAC Director Professor Prabhat Ranjan on the future of brain, race between mind and machine. This was followed by a video documentary on environmental issues and inconvenient truth. And after that there was a very illuminating talk by Professor Amit Pasak of IIT Kharagpur on excitements in chemistry. Coming to today's program, we are going to have 3 lectures covering a variety of areas of excitement in science and mathematics that are going to be delivered by several eminent speakers, and they are going to deliver these talks in a level which will be mainly for motivating young students of the schools and some of the colleges. We have 3 speakers today, as I told you. First, Dr. Bhupati Chakrabarty, an ex-professor of City College, Kolkata, is going to talk on physics in the sporting arena, which I am sure all of you will enjoy very much. And you will see how you can improve your skill in cricket or table tennis or pole vault by knowing some of the basic principles of physics. This is going to be exciting for the children. And then there will be another interesting talk by Dr. Chinmay Ghosh of Indira Gandhi National Open University, who is going to talk about mathematics, queen and servant of science. So he will tell you how to have fun with mathematics. And the last talk will be given by Professor Soumitra Sengupta of our theoretical physics department, and he will talk on gravitational wave that was predicted in the early part of 20th century by none other than the man of the century, Albert Einstein. Many of you must have seen in the newspaper this month, beginning of this month, as well as in the YouTube, about the discovery of this ubiquitous gravitational wave via the merger of 2 huge black holes ringing down to a single black hole. This is indeed an amazing cosmic extravaganza that exactly matches the prediction of the general theory of relativity, about which you must have at least heard of Albert Einstein. These 3 lectures will be followed by a video on natural selection, a classic documentary on Charles Darwin's mystery. This you are going to experience today before lunch. In the post-lunch session, that is after having the lunch here in our campus, which has been organized by our volunteers, we go to the world of experiments. As you can see from the program that you must have seen outside, now in the adjoining 2B campus, you will see a huge pandal, and this 2B campus in fact has undergone a metamorphosis thanks to the initiative of our director, and the the completion of the site has almost been done in a war footing by some of our colleagues. Thanks to all of them. Now, the students of ISES will take you through a guided tour of live demonstrations of physics, chemistry and biology experiments. The afternoon session today will start with a lucid and exciting classroom-type demonstration by Dr. Bhupati Chakravarti. These will be all physics experiments. Apart from this, we have a mobile van from Birla Institute of Technological Museum that you will see in the 2B campus that is going to show you a variety of science exhibits from BITM, which some of you might have already seen, but here you are getting an opportunity to see these exhibits once again. And for the senior students, some of them are coming from the colleges, we have arranged some visits to some of the state-of-the-art laboratories of our institute, such as the transmission electron microscopy, the Raman's spectrometer, and also what is known as the nuclear magnetic resonance. Some of these state-of-the-art experimental facilities which are there in our institute will be experienced by some of the senior students today. Now that I have given you a brief summary of the program for the entire day, the pre-lunch and post-lunch that has been chalked out, let me tell you about the food, which is an integral part of any such program. And we have made no exception in this time. My colleagues have ensured that all students, volunteers and participants, as well as the staffs and students of our institute, we all enjoy together the lunch that has been arranged in our canteen. While the refreshments will be served during the tea break to the school and college students and participants present in this auditorium, my appeal to young students is that you please maintain discipline and follow the instruction of your teachers and our volunteers. Now, I've almost come to the end of my address, but since we are not going to come back in the afternoon to this auditorium, let me perform another pleasant duty before I conclude, and that is to thank the people who are concerned. Let me start by thanking our director, Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, for providing all the necessary support and also for guiding this entire program of the National Science Day 2016. So we are all really grateful to Professor Bhattacharya for such a wonderful gathering to be possible. I would like to thank all the distinguished speakers in this two-day program, and a special thanks for Birla Industrial and Technological Museum, BITM, and the Science City Director, Dr. A.D. Chaudhary, and also to Vigyan Bharati for providing their wholehearted support. The ultimate success of such a program lies on the participation of schools and colleges, and I would like to thank the students as well as their teachers who have come from various schools in and around Kolkata for their active participation. This is an opportunity for you to really go into the world of science and enjoy the real spirit behind it. Finally, let me take this opportunity to thank all the members of our organizing committee and the subcommittees. Time will not permit me to really tell the names of all of them individually, but they have worked relentlessly during the past few days and weeks in order to stage this science show, and needless to say that the credit for the success goes entirely to these faculties, student volunteers and the staffs from our directorate, from the workshop, from the engineering section, and also from the cleaning personnel of ISES. Last but not the least, we would like to thank the Department of Science and Technology for funding, and also to the Government of India, and especially to the Honorable Prime Minister for choosing the theme for this year's National Science Day, which we have already seen in our logo. And with that, I would like to welcome you all once again to this National Science Day, which will now start with a small video clip on ISES that we are going to show you right away. So, thank you.
Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science is the oldest scientific research institute in India. It is the only institute in India which has produced the Nobel Prize. This institute, known as IACS, was founded by a medical doctor, Mahendra Lal Sarkar. Mahendra Lal was born in 1833 during the Indian Renaissance. Mahendra Lal obtained the MD degree of the Calcutta Medical College in 1863. He was the second Indian to get the MD degree. He had patients all over India, including Ram Krishna Dev, J.C. Bose shifted to Presidency College and Ashutosh Mukherjee left mathematics, and research did not take off at IACS. In 1904, Sarkar died a broken man. C.V. Raman was born in Tamil Nadu on 7th of November 1888. Raman also stood first in Indian Financial Service Examination. In 1907, 3 years after Mahendra Lal's death, C.V. Raman came to Calcutta. Initially, Raman worked on acoustics, particularly Indian musical instruments. He started working on Raman effect from 1923. He did not have any equipment. He approached G.D. Birla for money to buy a spectrograph. Raman sent his paper by telegram to Nature on 16th of February 1928. He was awarded the 1930 Nobel Prize in Physics.
Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, popularly known as IACS, is a leading center for research and education in science, situated in Kolkata, India. For over 138 years, IACS has contributed to Indian and international science and engineering by promoting an integrated view of science education and research. Innovation in the economy requires perceived opportunities in marketplace, but it rests on the underpinning of advances in basic research. Curiosity-driven research, motivated by quest for knowledge and without a clear practical objective, is the source from which all applied, commercially oriented research and development ultimately flows.
Now, the scientists at ISCS will provide general overviews of different research programs undertaken at ISCS. We'll start with theoretical physics.
Behind me on this board you can see the various thrust areas in which this group works on. And of course, currently the most interesting experiment that's going on is in Geneva in CERN called the Large Hadron Collider.
So the Large Hadron Collider is a proton-proton collider. So where you smash the two proton beams and it creates enormous amount of energy, and from there it creates new particles and also known particles. The only missing ingredient of the standard model was a Higgs particle, and it was discovered in 2012 at CERN with the mass 125 GeV. Now, to keep the Higgs at 125 GeV, you need to have some extra theories or extra models beyond what is a standard model. Supersymmetry and extra dimension are such scenarios where you can have light Higgs bosons. In addition to this problem, we also know from neutrino oscillation experiment that neutrinos are massive. And from cosmology, we know there is a large chunk of matter which is dark. So supersymmetry, large extra dimension, and also like type 2 seesaw model and triplet Higgs models, they predict massive neutrinos as well as some extensions of seesaw model also predict dark matter. So in this area, our group is actively working.
So in lattice gauge theory, what you primarily do is instead of the continuum space-time, you actually discretize space-time into a 4-dimensional lattice, and that in one go cures both the infrared and the ultraviolet divergences of the underlying quantum field theory. So in this area, we have been working on developing new algorithms for more efficient simulation techniques, and one of the highlights that we managed to do is to first compute the diffusion coefficient of the quark-gluon plasma, and we are now actively involving in developing new algorithms like the rational hybrid Monte Carlo, etc.
Of course, modern theories need modern computers.
So here we are in front of the Cray supercomputer, and on my left you can see two cabinets. The one on the further side is the compute cabinet, and the one which is closer to us is the disk cabinet, which consists of a parallel Lustre file system. Most interesting aspect of this compute node is that these are hybrid compute nodes, some having 2 CPUs and some having 1 CPU and 1 GPU, each card giving you about 1 teraflop of computing power, and this comes at about 1/10 of the price and energy consumption. Nowadays, for high performance supercomputing, you need about 2 megawatts of power for each petaflop of computing power. Current technology cannot be used to extrapolate to the exaflop scale, and here at ISCS we are actively developing algorithms and new programming paradigms for effectively exploiting the power of these graphical processing unit.
From physics to physical chemistry. So what is happening there?
So we are going to have a small informal discussion about the areas of research and the focus of physical chemistry.
It's a very important question, but if you look at this our department, in the department of the physical chemistry, although that we need to depend very much on this technology, but somehow we try to maintain both in terms of this theory and experiment what is happening at this global level. So if you look at this research in this department, particularly in the 80s and 90s, mostly this high resolution spectroscopy of the small molecules at low temperature, that was the focus. With the change of the time, now the people are trying to study more complex system. This complex system, not necessarily that the system has to be very big, but even the small molecules, when you go to these very high energy levels, the systems becomes very complex. So in that sense, this non-adiabatic reaction dynamics of these small molecular clusters, the study of the clusters at the low temperature, and also what the dynamics that is happening at the cellular level, and also to see that the process that is happening exactly at this molecular level, that is what is called the single molecular spectroscopy and the single molecular dynamics. That is also has become a fashion of this day, and ICS is going at par with this global trend. But we take teaching very seriously. We have an integrated program in chemical science here by the Department of Physical Chemistry, and particularly the faculty